You're listening to localwebradio.fm. Community-minded, locally focused.
This is your Spotlight on Business.
Well, it's Eric Reynolds here, and I'm your host. And I'm here with Grant Pearson from ColdFire Canada, and today we'll be talking with Grant about his local White Rock business. Grant sells an amazing fire suppressant that is made from non-toxic ingredients. It's fast, it's effective, ULC certified, and is scalable for consumer and industrial use. Now, before Grant joins us, just a reminder that if you have questions or require assistance, you can reach Grant at 1-855-888-2653 or online at coldfirecanada.com. Now, hi, Grant. It's great to be talking with you today.
Good morning, Eric. Great to be here.
Excellent. Hey, Grant, before we get started talking about your business, can you give us a little background on yourself, maybe how long you've lived in the area, and what you love most about White Rock?
Sure, you bet. We slowly migrated south from Vancouver into White Rock in 1996 when we built a house, and our two children, now well-grown, graduated from local Semiahmoo High School. My wife and I were heavily involved in the local football program and other charities, and for the last 19 years loved this sun-swept area with the ocean.
Now, Grant, it's great to hear about your family and your history in the area, but I'd love to hear the story about ColdFire. Tell me, how long have ColdFire products been around, and how you got involved in the business?
Well, years ago, I was training law enforcement. I have a law enforcement military background, and then went into sales and training. And I was using this product whenever we were training with military or police and had fires generated from different incendiary devices, and I just found it remarkable. And when I looked around and I saw how little, especially in my expertise, people were using it, and in general, I just thought, wow, this is something that we really have to share. So we made arrangements with the manufacturer in the U.S. and got the exclusive rights in Canada to distribute this in every form we possibly could. Of course, police and firefighting was our main goal in the beginning, but now we've got people in every walk of life using it.
Now, Grant, I know it's a fire suppressant product, but what are the main products in your line, and who's using them?
Well, it is actually 100% organic, natural plant-based wetting agent.
Oh, wow.
That comes out as a water-type spray. What it does is different from anything else is it takes the heat out of fire instead of trying to smother the fire, which most dry chemicals and foams and water try to do. Well, taking the oxygen out of a fire can be a big fight. Taking the heat out of the fire not only puts the fire out very quickly, but it does it with much less water, and it cools everything down around it, so the fire doesn't restart, which is, as you can ask any firefighter, rekindle is one of their biggest problems.
Yeah.
So literally I can put out raging, burning tires in seconds.
Well, Grant, that is absolutely amazing. And, I spent some time on your website, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we're up against a break right now, so we'll be right back with Grant Pearson from ColdFire Canada. And when we return, we'll be discussing how the ColdFire products are used and where to get them. We'll be right back.
More Spotlight on Business after a quick word from our sponsors.
Take control of your financial future with sound investing on the Home Channel on localwebradio.fm.
Are you struggling with a dental or oral health issue? Dr. Norm Ickert from Ickert Dental Implant Center is committed to improving your quality of life with the very best in modern and advanced dentistry. You can catch Dr. Ickert on the Health Channel for the Healthy Smiles Oral Health Show here on localwebradio.fm and at the Ickert Dental Implant Center in Langley at 866-981-1381. That's 866 981-1381.
Buying or selling a home on the Semiahmoo Peninsula? Catch up on local market conditions on This Week in Real Estate with Lance and Connie Marples from Sutton West Coast Realty on localwebradio.fm.
Now back to Spotlight on Business.
All right, we're back with Grant Pearson, and we're discussing the ColdFire fire suppressant. Now, Grant, I saw some amazing videos on your website that just completely blew my mind. Can you give me some examples of how the products are being used?
Yeah, you bet. Like I mentioned before, we've been using it in law enforcement for years because they've never had anything except dry chemical extinguishers.
Right.
And when we had that horrible incident with the Stanley Cup riot in Vancouver, it became apparent to all the public order units across Canada and the U.S. that they needed something for car fires and all the other fires that these people were setting in part of a riot format. The ColdFire was so successful that now we actually have fire departments and police departments teaming up in their public order units, and they've got firemen right involved in the police lines using ColdFire. Because as you saw in the Stanley Cup riots, the fires didn't go out because the firemen couldn't get to the fire.
Right.
So now we put together different backpacks and spray bottles and extinguishers that allow the firemen and the policemen to not only put out the fires, but prevent the fires from starting in the first place, because ColdFire will actually prevent a fire from starting if you coat down a surface beforehand.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's so interesting. Now, on the videos I saw online, of course, I saw that you've got a huge presence across Canada, down in the U.S., but what about locally? Do you have any local stories that you can tell about the product?
Well, actually, for years now, I've been working with White Rock Fire Department to bring on ColdFire, and I'm happy to say that recently they have adjusted and replaced their foam products with ColdFire. But I guess maybe a little not so funny but funny story is recently I had a deputy chief of police run up to me at a conference and tell me, Grant, you saved my house. And I'm going like, well, how did that happen? He says, well, I had a bunch of people over for a barbecue, and the barbecue hose line had a hole in it and burst on fire. It was actually catching the siding on his house. And he ran inside, grabbed his 13-ounce spray can of ColdFire, and he said everybody was absolutely amazed. He said he used about 3/4 of the can and completely extinguished the fire.
Wow.
And saved his house.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Now, it was a fire chief that just happened to have the ColdFire canister at home.
Actually, this one happened to be a police chief, but
oh wow, police chief.
But the fire chiefs they all have it too. As a matter of fact, our aerosol spray cans that we have that people can purchase. We have fire departments that actually sell them as part of their fire prevention program, and then any money that's made goes to the Children's Burn Fund. So wow. We're really happy because the product gets into people's kitchens. And also the Burn Fund makes some money as well.
Well, it's great to be able to give to the Burn Fund, and really great that these fire departments are making them a part of their prevention kits. But here's the question I have. In my area, we don't necessarily have a fire department that's got it as part of their prevention kit. I'm not a first responder. How would I get a hold of the product? What would I need to do to get my hands on ColdFire?
Well, probably the easiest is to just go online to coldfirecanada.com. We do have a select amount of retail stores across Canada, but if you call our toll-free number or online, we can direct you to the most local. We also have, in the local area, the Canadian Tire store in South Surrey carries the ColdFire products.
Well, Grant, such an interesting topic today and an interesting product and company you have, but unfortunately for this podcast, we are out of time. Now, if you can think of someone who might benefit from what we've talked about today, go ahead and share this podcast with them. You know what? I am positive that they will thank you for it. Now, if you need to reach Grant, you can do that by telephone at 1-855-888-2653. Again, that's 1-855-888-2653. and you can find them online at coldfirecanada.com. Now, once again, for myself, Grant, and for the listeners, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
You've been listening to Spotlight on Business.
LocalWebRadio.fm, your trusted voices on the Semiahmoo Peninsula.